I was filling up at a gas station when I scrolled past a trending local post. I want my mistress to come over for an affair, but my wife's schedule is unpredictable. How can I avoid getting caught? Someone replied, I've got experience with this. I have 2 parking spots at home. Whenever I'm having an affair, I park my car horizontally across both spots. When my wife comes home and can't park, she calls me to move the car. While I'm going down to move it, my mistress slips away. I've been doing this for 6 months without getting caught. The comments praised his clever scheme, and the original poster even liked the reply. I rarely post online, but I couldn't help responding, a bunch of scumbags. But when I drove home, I found my parking spot blocked by my husband's car, parked horizontally across both spaces. Seeing my husband, who always parked carefully and never crossed the lines, suddenly park horizontally across 2 spots, I slammed on the brakes. The post I just read flashed through my mind. It had to be a coincidence, right? Alexander was famous for being devoted to his wife. We'd been dating for 5 years and married for 2, 7 years total. He was attentive and considerate, treating me like a treasure. He never let me enter the kitchen or do any housework. Knowing I loved to drive, he'd even given me a Porsche as a birthday gift and bought the parking spot right next to his. Every time we parked, he'd always position his car closer to his side, leaving an extra 8 inches of space for me to park more comfortably. How could a man who loved and protected me so wholeheartedly possibly betray me? But that post kept replaying in my mind. I stared at Alexander's car for a long time before making a decision. I didn't call him to move his car. Instead, I drove to a temporary parking spot nearby, turned off the engine, got out, and went home. I wanted to see if there really was an unfaithful husband inside, waiting for me to call about moving the car. When I reached the front door, I quietly pulled out my key and opened it as silently as possible. Once inside, I headed straight for the bedroom. The door was half open. Through the gap, I saw the room was empty. I turned to the guest room, pushed open the door, still empty. The study, bathroom, balcony, even the storage room. I checked every single one. Every room was quiet and empty. No one was there. Where was Alexander? Just as I was puzzling over this, the kitchen door opened. Alexander came out wearing an apron, carrying a dish. Seeing me, he froze for a moment, surprised. Why are you home so early today? He quickly set the dish on the dining table and gave me a simple smile. I was planning to make a few more dishes before you got off work. You came home early. I haven't finished cooking yet. I glanced at the kitchen. Cut vegetables were arranged on the cutting board, and in the pot, my favorite soup was simmering. Clearly, he'd been busy in the kitchen for quite a while. I breathed a sigh of relief and smiled slightly. There wasn't much going on at the office today, so I came home early. Alexander nodded. Then rest for a bit. I'll finish the last 2 dishes and you can eat. He went back into the kitchen to continue cooking. Watching his busy figure, I couldn't help asking, why did you suddenly park horizontally across my spot today? Alexander looked back at me, somewhat embarrassed. I was worried you'd be hungry when you got home, so I rushed upstairs to cook. I didn't pay attention to parking properly, just left it there and ran up. Alexander's behavior seemed completely natural, and his explanation was flawless. After all, every day when I came home from work, there was always hot food waiting for me. Alexander was a surgical doctor with an incredibly demanding workload, yet he always managed to find time to come home and cook for me. Sometimes I'd tell him to rest and not work so hard, but he'd always say, you have a weak constitution. When you're hungry, you get heart palpitations and trembling hands. We can't be careless about that. I need to make sure you have hot, fresh food the moment you get home. Nothing can interfere with that. After speaking, Alexander continued bustling about. Soon, the food was ready, all my favorites. After serving me rice, Alexander was about to sit down and eat with me when suddenly his phone rang. He answered, immediately frowning with concern. All right, I'll be right there. He quickly took off his apron and said to me urgently, there's an emergency patient at the hospital that only I can operate on. I need to go. He grabbed his car keys, planted a gentle kiss on my forehead, then hurried out the door. The moment the door closed, the house fell silent. I sat at the dining table, looking at the spread of dishes, but had no appetite. That post stuck in my mind like a thorn I couldn't pull out. Alexander's behavior and explanation had no flaws, yet I still felt something was off. I set down my chopsticks, stood up, and